Welcome everyone. We're getting ready for spring 2021 registration. Yay. And so I put together this video workshop, which would normally be what we would do together as a group when we do the advising workshops, in hopes that this would allow us more one-on-one time to go over your particular classes when it comes down to your academic advising. Most of this information is reminders, so please bear with me. I just want to make sure that this is not something you've forgotten so far and that you know how to do so that you're able to register when your registration appointment comes. So as a reminder, these are all the majors we advise at CSUB Antelope Valley. As far as academic advising is concerned, we have a staff advisor, me, and a peer advisor, Selena, who assists students in all of these majors. But we also have faculty advisors like Dr. Reed, who meets with all child, adolescent, and family studies majors, Dr. Castlestrand and Professor Sanchez, who see our sociology majors and who will be there for our sociology workshops. And for those of you with a minor in psychology, you can also speak to Dr. Evans to go over course recommendations for your minor. There are some general questions we can answer for you through email if you don't have time to attend a workshop or you don't have time to come in during walk-ins. All we ask is that, one, make sure that you use your CSUB email. We have been letting you guys know that your CSUB email is the official form of communication. It is considered a secure way of communicating back and forth. So please use your CSUB email, and in the email, make sure you include what your major and concentration are, what your student ID number is, and what your catalog year is. Most general questions we can answer over email without you needing to schedule an academic advising appointment or a workshop, but we need to have enough information in order to do that. Another reminder that I have my virtual office in which I update daily. So I post announcements on that little bulletin board. I have links to the tutoring center, to the academic calendar, to the online tutorial videos. The diploma there has graduation information. We have WAR information. You can schedule an appointment. You can look at the catalog. The little wallet on the floor has tuition fee information. And then, very important, because many of you are going to need it, is the class override request. This is when you're having problems enrolling in a class and you need a manual override that me or Selena can do for you. The Tutoring Center for CSUB AV also has a Bitmoji Center website, which it's linked to my website. And here you can join the Zoom links for Allison or Writing Tutor, or Lauren or Sociology Tutor during their office hours, which are posted. Their email address is also posted there, and they have some supplemental materials for the GWAR exam, the MLA and APA formats, depending on what your instructors are looking for. And we also have an Instagram account to post announcements. If you're looking for tutoring on different services like not writing or sociology, or you need writing and sociology but outside of our walking hours, you also have access to online tutoring with nettutor.com. Just make sure that you have registered first by going to the nettutor.com/CSUBNT. You will need a username, first name, last name, and a CSUB email address that they can send you a password that you can set up. Once you have an account set up, then you're able to start meeting with tutors from all the different subjects, math, business, child development, criminology, geology, psychology, so on and so forth. These are all professional tutors who have bachelor's degrees and higher, but most of them have a master's or a PhD. They can do live video, they can do audio only if you're more comfortable with audio only, or they can even just do chat if that's what you prefer. You can also drop off a question or drop off a paper, and then they'll get back to you. For today, mainly, I want to just once again remind you of where to look at your registration holds, your to-do list, your registration appointment, how to do the class searches for registration, adding classes to your shopping cart, validating if you need to prior to your registration appointment. And then we're going to reserve all your specific requirement questions for when you meet with an advisor one-on-one through a workshop or during the walk-ins. Couple of registration announcements. Registration for spring 2021 begins October 26th. That means that nobody registers prior to October 26th. However, prior to October 26th, you can start putting classes in your shopping cart in preparation for your registration appointment. We received notification just a couple of days ago that all classes for spring 2021 will be virtual. However, make sure that if you are adding a class that has days and times listed, that you are available to join the class during those days and times. That means that the instructor wants to have either live lectures, live discussions. They're not going to be anything recorded. They want you to participate and be present for those days and times that the class is listed for. If the days and times say TVA, it really doesn't mean that they'll announce a later day on time. It means it is fully online and you don't have to worry about that days and times conflicting with other class requirements. Tuition is due Thursday before school starts, regardless of when you register. So please register as soon as possible because it will not affect when your tuition fees are due. We will continue to have walking Zoom advising for quick questions every day, Monday through Friday, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. with Selena. We have reserved that time slot for anybody who comes up with a question as they're trying to choose their classes or who can't make it to the workshops that we have scheduled. We will also have walk-ins during the first week of registration, and we'll have extended hours for that, not just 12 to 1, and it will be with both me and Selena. Walk-ins are one-on-one meetings. They are private meetings with an advisor. The only difference between a walk-in advising and a regular appointment advising is that the one-on-one meetings during walk-ins are quick questions, just trying to get you in and into your classes or help you figure out whatever problem that you're having and then we move on to the next student. It is not a time to update your outline or plan for graduation or consider changing your major or your minor. But they are useful in the sense that we try to accommodate as many students as possible with registration issues. And also remember, if you have registration problems, you can submit the override request. You do not have to wait for an appointment or you do not have to wait to meet with an advisor. You can just submit it, and that's on my virtual website. I always have a link for you to submit the class override request. Just a review of the upper division general education courses that are required after transfer. There's the upper division science that is usually coded as UDB, the upper division arts and humanities that is coded as UDC, the upper division social sciences that is coded UDD, the JYDR, which is your junior year diversity reflection, and then your capstone. Most majors have their capstone included in their senior seminar, so look at your academic outline to see if yours is included or if it's an extra course that you have to take. There is also the graduation writing assessment that you can complete by either taking a class like English 3109 or Communications 3008 or taking the exam. To schedule the exam, you will have to email testingcenter@csub.edu. They do have a form that they want you to fill out. If you go to my virtual office, I have the link to the form right there that you can fill out and turn in. In the form, they actually let you know when the testing dates will be, so that's a plus. If you're planning on graduating within a year from now or coming up, the graduation application is due always 1 year in advance in February and September. Up until September 21st, the application was due for spring 2021. After September 21st, the application period for summer and fall 2021 begins, and it will be due in February. So the link, the way you apply for graduation is through a link through your My CSUB account. My online tutorials have exactly how to do it. So if you need to apply for graduation, please check out the video. If the link is not live and you have already earned 84 units, let me know. There might be a glitch in the system and we can contact admissions and records to make sure that they activate that link for you. As far as your major outline and worksheet, we will email you an updated outline and worksheet prior to you getting your advising appointment. So if you're registered for a workshop, we'll send it to you at least 24 hours for you to review. Mainly, we update courses completed. If you have submitted new transcripts and they have final grades, we will include them there. Anything that you're currently enrolled in, we color-coded blue so that you can see the classes that you're in this semester for fall 2020. Anything that is still needed, and this is what you want to concentrate on when you're picking your classes, will be highlighted yellow just for visual effects. So it's kind of like pops at you. Also check if next to that class I put words like take ASAP, take in spring 21, or take after one of the classes that you're taking right now. We try to let you know if this is something that you should be thinking of right away or if it's something that can be taken any term. If it doesn't say anything next to it, it's usually a class that's offered every semester. Your upper division GEs are offered every term. Any questions that you have about your academic requirements, we can review when we do the one-on-ones. So we will not discuss those during a group. We will wait for one-on-ones in order to go over those with you. The GPA's units, minimum requirements, I include an extra sheet with your academic outline to go over the units that are required for graduation. As a general rule, 120 units is the minimum you can earn towards a bachelor's degree. If you have 119, they will not graduate you. Out of the 120 that you need, no more than 70 can be from a community college and no more than 90 can be from another university or a combination of a college and a university. And that's to meet what we call residency units, units that you need to take at CSUB in order to graduate from CSUB, and that minimum is 30. Within those 120, 40 of these units need to be what we called upper division. You can tell upper division classes apart from lower division in the way that they are listed as 3,000, 4,000 levels. So anything 3001, 3002, 3003. Same with the 4,000s, 4001, 4002, 4003. These are all what we call upper division, junior, senior level courses. And you need at least 24 of those at CSUB, but 40 overall. If you're coming from a community college, all 40 will be done here at CSUB. If you're coming from another university, you need to do at least 24 at CSUB. And when we say residency, it simply means courses taking at CSUB. It has nothing to do with the state. There are different areas that you need to watch out for your GPAs, and we include those in your worksheet. And that is to make sure that your overall GPA, and that means everything taken towards a degree, is at least a 2.0. Your major GPA, in which we leave anything outside of your major and only calculate your major GPA, needs to be at least a 2.0. Your minor, if you have a minor, all classes towards the minor need to average to a 2.0. And then you also have to have a CSUB GPA that is above a 2.0, and that means it doesn't include courses taken outside of CSUB. So we will break this down for you, and we will give you a template towards graduation, like what to take every term in regards of units. These templates, we usually provide you a plan A and a plan B. These are recommendations or suggestions based on a conversation we've had before. These are not mandatory. These are not required. We can adjust this to match what your graduation plan is, but this gives you an idea of how long you have left and how many units you should be taking per semester. A reminder on how grading works at the university level. All CSUs, including Bakersfield, use a plus and minus grading system as opposed to community colleges where you just have an A, B, C, D, F. We have an A minus, B plus, B minus, C plus, and all of these affect your grade point average or GPA. Look at the course catalog to find out if you have specific grade requirements for a particular class. For some classes, like your upper division general education, except for the writing requirement, a D is considered passing. However, if you have too many Ds, then your overall GPA or your CSUB GPA may be falling under 2, so you might need to repeat a class in order to get back to a 2.0, even though a D in that particular class is considered passing. So you have the most impact on your first semester in regards to grading, because if this is your first semester at CSUB, remember you don't have a previous CSUB GPA to buffer it. So if on your first semester you're taking 4 classes and you get 3 C's and a C minus, that automatically brings your CSUB GPA to academic probation. And don't freak out if you get on academic probation on your first semester. It simply means, watch out, you are falling under 2.0. You'll get another semester to bring it back up to above a 2.0. And if you find yourself on academic probation, you will have resources, advisors specifically designed to help you get your GPA back up, and I can assist you with general knowledge on that topic as well. Credit, no credit classes do not affect your GPA, so if you're taking an elective class, or sometimes you're taking internship classes that are credit, no credit, pass or fail, these are not calculated into your GPA. On your student center, so a quick overview of where everything is, your holds. So remember that your academic holds are listed in this section right here. So when you first log in into your My CSUB, it's the very first top section on the right-hand side. And it's going to say holds, and the different types of holds you can get is the student financial services hold. That means you owe money to the university. The student financial agreement only shows up once per academic year, and it's just to remind you how tuition fees work. It does not mean that you owe money to the university. They're just disclosing how tuition fees work in case you've forgotten. The academic advising hold would be if you are mandatory to get advising. That hold comes up once per academic year as well. The probation hold only applies to you if you have fallen below a 2.0. Judicial affairs is the online sexual harassment training that they make you do once per academic year. And the health services hold is the one they put on your account if you need to turn in your immunization records. The health services hold is usually due during your first semester at CSUB towards December. So you might register for classes and then the hold comes on. So pay attention to your holds even after registration happens, just to make sure that you keep up with what is mandatory as far as registration holds are concerned. Things on your to-do list, these are usually related to financial aid. So you are less likely to have anything on your to-do list for spring because most things will be due towards the fall term because you have a fall and spring academic year. And a reminder again, an advising hold every year, because I get this question, why do I have an academic advising hold? They put it there automatically. I don't request them myself. But if you feel like you know what you're going to be taking and you don't need to meet with me to go over your classes again, or we just met right before they place the hold, sometimes that happens, just send me a quick email, send me your ID number, your major, and then I'll go ahead and clear that for you so that you can register. Very important, your registration appointment for spring 2021 will start showing up sometime around October. Advising will begin October 5th, which means they're probably going to put the registration dates either late September or early October. You're going to see the date directly on the page. However, you will have to click on details to see your registration time. The time is very important because if your registration appointment is October 26th at 1 p.m. and you're trying to register at 8 a.m., it's not going to let you. So make sure that you make a note of your registration appointment date as well as your time. When you're requesting an override request, I will ask you, when is your registration appointment date and what is your registration appointment time? Because prior to your registration appointment date and time, I cannot add you to classes, okay? So pay attention to those. A couple of reminders on the class searches. When you're searching for a class for your major or your minor, make sure that you include the subject, child, adolescent, and family studies, criminal justice, business, management, marketing, sociology, any of those. The system by default selects the show open classes only. I recommend that you keep that until you run out of choices, and then you can uncheck it to see if there's anything that you could waitlist yourself for if needed. But ideally, you will only search for open classes only. Very important, you need to make sure that you expand the additional search criteria and that you select location as Antelope Valley. There's other things that sound like it should be it, like CSUB, Antelope Valley, but no, the only one that works is location Antelope Valley. So pay close attention to that one so that you don't select the wrong one. And then you can click search and it's going to give you all the classes under that subject that are open that have the location as Antelope Valley. For searching for your general education courses, main things, you need to make sure that you leave the subject blank. Sometimes you just finish searching for your major classes and you forget to clear the subject, and so nothing comes up because it's looking for too many criteria to look for the classes. So make sure the subject is blank. Again, leave the open classes only checkbox marked. Make sure you do the location as Antelope Valley, and under the course attribute is when you can start selecting the different things, like the graduation writing assessment is for your GWAR requirement. The junior year diversity requirement is for your JYDR. And then if you select Upper Division General Ed, it'll give you the course attribute value in which you can select specifically like your Upper Division B, your Upper Division C, or your Upper Division D. And then once you select that criteria, then you can click on search to see what your options are in that regard. There are other tutorial videos I have already created, so I didn't think making this video longer was necessary. For example, if you want to view exactly how I do the class searches, you can look at the searching for classes video. You can also go to, if you already know how to do class searches, but you don't quite know how to do the validating part of this, then you can go to the validating and adding classes, and you can actually forward to 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's when I actually start with the validating. Prior to that, I start explaining all these other things that I just went over. So fast forward to 6 minutes, 30 seconds, and you'll see exactly just the validating process. Through the YouTube channel, which again, I have the link on my virtual office, but if you just go to YouTube and search for CSUB AV Advising, the channel will also pop up. I also have there, besides the tutorial videos, I have direct links to the appointment request, the document request. If you just want a copy of your previous advising, if you've lost it and just need a copy, I can send you that. And also the override request. So there's different places where you can find the override request. It's going to be in the YouTube channel, it's going to be in my virtual office, and I'm actually going to put the link right under here as well so that you don't miss it. So that if you need me to override you into a class, feel free to submit that. Things I cannot override are if a class is full. If you don't meet the prerequisites for it, then it's not an error. You actually don't qualify for the class. And if you, if the class is, no, I already said full. I had something else in mind. If it's full, if you don't meet the prerequisites for it, or if it's through the extended university, like if it's part of the COC campus, we can't override those. So make sure that you read the descriptions. If it's a main campus class, since we're going to be virtual and you want to take a main campus class, go for it. Submit the override request, I can put you in. Just make sure it is not a class we're also offering at the AV. If it's a class we're offering at AV, then we ask that you take the AV class simply because if we don't use up the seats for the classes that they're giving us, then they're going to start taking those seats away, and then they're going to say, well, your students don't need it, and we do need them. So start with the AV classes and then expand to the main campus online if needed. Okay, that's it for this video. You should be ready to go for your advising workshop. We start advising October 5th, and we're going to go through all the way until the first week of registration, which is October 26th. We will have walk-ins that whole week in case you have issues. And as always, feel free to contact us if you need to. Thanks for watching.